Am I the asshole for not supporting my wife while she was throwing up? My wife, my best friend, and I were driving to a game. My wife is very picky and she didn't want to eat anything at the stadium because it was greasy. I told her to eat something, but she didn't. Anyways, we had to drive back home. Rather, I had to drive us 3 hours back home. Wife got really car sick, which happens when you have nothing but soda and a handful of chips in your stomach. I turned on the AC and opened the windows, and neither of those things stopped her from gagging. I hate the sound of vomit or the look of it because it makes me throw up too. And I can't throw up as I'm the driver. Eventually, she asked me to pull over. I had to stop for gas, and she immediately started throwing up into the trash can. My best friend gave her some water and helped her clean up. He offered to take over driving, but it was my car, and I'm not comfortable letting other people drive it, and my best friend is a bit more of a reckless driver than I am. My wife got back in the car, and after a few minutes, she asked me to pull over again. At that rate, we would have never made it home, and I had work the next day. We both did. If I had pulled over both times, it would have added at least 40 minutes to our commute, and we would have likely been caught in a traffic jam too. It was better for us to get home than extend the trip longer, so she could throw up more. She ended up throwing up again in a plastic bag 2 more times. By the time we got home, she was furious. She told all of her friends that I was a selfish person. She said I had refused to support her and treated her as disguising. She even went so far as to say she married the wrong guy. I feel like I did the best I could. I don't know what I could have done to make her happy. Part 2. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my ex-GF after they came out as trans last week? Writing this on a throwaway account as my ex knew the name of my other account. I'm 26M and my ex-GF is 24. We had been dating for around 4 years with a 6-month pause. We ended up getting back together for a couple more years after my ex moved back here in Georgia. Just a couple weeks ago, I noticed they had been acting more distant from me, but not losing their affectionate behavior. I didn't get any explanation on why this was happening until later on. I thought they were going to move back to their state because something not much different happened back when they moved away the first time. It wasn't going on for this long, though. They told me a couple days before moving away. This instance, it took a week to get the answer. Last week, they came to me while I was still sleeping and rudely awoke me by shaking arms and legs. They yelled at me, "You found out, huh?" And I was confused by what they were talking about, and I asked what. About me being a trans man, they said. I didn't have time to react or respond to it before they slammed the bedroom door shut and I heard the car leave. They had short hair now too. I woke up at 10 a.m. abruptly and didn't see them last night because I was working night shift. Later that day, they came back and apologized for the morning behavior, and she hugged me and then kissed me. I felt very uncomfortable knowing that they identify as a guy now and not the woman I once knew. They asked to have sex with me, not even minding the fact I'm straight, and I don't think that counts. That night had to be the most uncomfortable of my life. They gripped me from behind the whole night and massaged my shoulders, and I almost threw up in my mouth. I decided to break up with them. I told them an afternoon after they got back from a college lecture. I asked them to leave as I was the only one paying rent every month for this place. They blocked me on all social media we had connected together. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I'm afraid I'll be called a homophobe or anything along those lines. I have plenty of gay friends and I support them. TLDR, my ex-GF came out as a transgender man and lashed out while first telling me. They later acted strange after apologizing. We broke up the next morning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification and share.